Hello, everyone. Welcome to Shelly's Millions. This is the live California EDD Unemployment question and answer for Monday, February 8th. Hopefully, these are losing momentum because more and more of your claims are getting fixed. I think I'm going to be okay to go ahead and scroll back in the comments. On Sundays, those ones are really crowded. And so if I try and scroll back to the first comment, there's like no way I can get to everyone's question. But today doesn't look like there's too many of you waiting. So hopefully I'll be able to get to everyone's question. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm sorry for those of you that are still having problems with your claims. So let's go ahead and get into it. I know a lot of people's unemployment claims have started to reach zero right now, or benefit years are starting to near the end. So kind of people are wondering what's next. I think there's been a new revision to the stimulus bill. So there's still a lot going on to talk about, and you're certainly welcome just to vent. Sometimes I wish I could hear you guys. This would be like more of a Zoom and you guys could talk back. I would probably like that more. Maybe we gotta figure out how to do that. For those of you that are in here, please take a moment and like the video because I sure appreciate it. Okay. Snow Surf, I actually saw their comment earlier, said that it was a big ordeal and that they had to make 37 calls, but they got through and the claim was fixed. So that's awesome. That's just me commenting to Snow Surf. And of course, I still can't use my mouse or my computer no matter how many of you are in here. These weird lights on, I can't see. Oh, good. This is good. I can't even see to get to the scroll bar. Okay, there we go. Got my act together today. Okay. Oh, good. Snowsurf said one of my videos helped him to be prepared to hold and stuff. Pablo says on 12/27 to 12/7, the certification was submitted, received, and confirmed pending. When it's been pending that long, you really need to call them. Honestly, it's only normal to be pending for a maximum of 72 hours. And I hate that that's the answer. So for a long time, they weren't checking how we were answering our certification questions, but now they are. And the certification questions aren't equipped to deal with the pandemic and how, like, the uniqueness of that situation. For example, question 2 is, question 2 is there any other reason other than sickness or injury why you were unable to accept work? Many people are saying yes and answering childcare, which is a completely valid reason right now, but that's flagging the account. So, give them a call. Ben says, I shall not miss this stream. Well, thanks, Ben. Ben, what do you think about the weekend and like the Susie and the Banshees, like halftime, Happy House? The way people were talking, I thought maybe she was at the Super Bowl halftime. Just curious. Are you a Susie fan also? I don't know. Is anybody? Okay. Pastor Glenn says currently on 20 weeks, Fed Ed and finished in May. My California ED year is finished later in March. My homepage says benefit year 3/23 on extension. Will it continue or do I have to reapply in March? It is my understanding that they want everyone whose benefit year, if you're on regular unemployment, this doesn't apply to PUA. If you are on a regular unemployment claim, that when your benefit year has ended, they are going to want you to apply for a whole new claim. And it's my understanding that the reason for that is the extension, like Fed Ed, it's 100% funded by the federal government right now. In normal times, not in the pandemic, it's normally funded 50% by the state and 50% by the federal government. So the way the federal government wrote the stimulus bill was that as soon as we might be eligible for a new claim, like when our benefit year ends, they want us to try and apply. Because if we do, then we would get a whole new unemployment claim, and regular benefits are payable by the state. So that kind of lets the federal government off the hook and puts it back on the state. So that is why, and it is my understanding they want you to do that. Now, sometimes You can continue to certify for benefits past your benefit year, but they might get stuck on pending until you actually go ahead and open a new claim. Your other option when you get to that point is to call them, and the reps usually can check and see right away if you qualify for a new claim. And if you don't qualify for a whole new claim, then they go ahead and let you use the rest of your Fed Ed weeks and then any PEUC that would carry you through April 10th. 2021, when that second PEUC extension currently expires. Ooh, that was a lot. Okay. Hope that explained it, Pastor Glenn. And let me know if that made sense. Joel says, if whatever reason I get ID verification issue, ID.me is the one that takes 7 days. What is DocuSign? Is that the blue button EDD links on your EDD web page? Avoid that. That one takes 30 days. That one takes more than 30 days. That one takes about 6 to 8 weeks. The DocuSign button. The ID.me link should be sent to you in your UI online messages. And then it takes 7 to 10, probably business days from the time the EDD gets the information from ID.me. So that one can still take up to 30 days, but DocuSign is going to take about 6 to 8 weeks. So it's a long time if you have to do the DocuSign. That's why you want to try and do the ID.me. Judy says, when opening a new claim, is all of our info from the first claim still the same? In other words, are we still asked the last day of work, or does it automatically acknowledge that this is continuance? Thanks. I believe, no, a new one would still ask your last day of work. If you totally have to reapply / file a new claim, like for me, my last day of work was March 15th. So I would still put March 15th. It doesn't know, although I worked a few random shifts here and there. So I'm not sure. And I think that's why a lot of people are calling. A lot of people's benefit year has actually ended, but they're saying that they don't see a way to open a new claim or reapply. So when you call, if you can get through, what they're able to do is kind of have you reapply with them over the phone. Then they can tell right away if you qualify for a new claim or not. If you don't, then you just continue receiving Fed Ed benefits. And if you do, then you get your whole new claim. Also, if you have to reapply and you do it with them on the phone, they might also add the 11-week PEUC extension, which you haven't got. Although I got to stop calling it the 11-week PEUC extension because it already will not last 11 weeks because until new legislation passes, that current PEUC extension ends at the latest April 10th. Okay. Chelsea retracted one message and then left another. And hers says, oh shoot, I lost it. Guys, I'm the worst. You know what to do when I lose my place, like the video. Or maybe you don't. Maybe this is your first time to one of my lives. So when I lose my place, like the video. Okay. Oh no. Okay. I haven't found my place yet. You guys, I'm going to have to skip somebody's. Oh no, there it goes. It's letting me. No. You guys got a lot of time to like the video. Okay. Chelsea says, my claim end date was 1/16/2021. I still have a Fed Ed balance. I called in to open a new claim. I've been stuck in pending. I've called and spoke to Tier 2, who said my claim is in review. So usually if it's in review, that's actually somehow related to how you've been answering the certification questions. And there's a lot of things that could make it be in review. But this is actually probably going to need a dedicated video, but I'm going to try and explain it quickly here. It is entirely possible to still have a claim balance, even a large claim balance, and your benefit year is ended, which should mean you need to file a new claim. So most of the time we're not in pandemic, right? So let's say we're not in a pandemic and I just got laid off. So it is February 8th today. So I apply for unemployment today because I just got laid off. And I collect unemployment for maybe 10 weeks. And let's say after 10 weeks, I find a job because it's not a pandemic. So it's no big deal to find a new job. I got laid off or fired, whatever. I'm looking for a new job. Got one in 10 weeks. So I have regular unemployment lasts 26 weeks. So I would have like a claim balance that would last me 16 weeks. And that claim balance would sit there. So then let's say I work, but then at the end of January, they lay me off from this new job. They don't need me anymore. They don't, whatever. They don't need me. So they lay me off at the end of January. So I would then go back to reopen claim. That would be a reopen claim because I'd still be within my benefit year, but I would only be able to like certify and get paid for about 2 weeks before my benefit year would be over. So I would still have like a balance of 14 weeks on my claim balance, but because my benefit year is over, I would still need to apply for a new claim. That is how it works most years. Let me know if that makes sense. I want to try and break that down for you guys so that you understand it, but review should be something else that's probably somehow related to how you're answering the certification questions. Okay. And that and Chelsea goes on to say, and that there's nothing she can do. I've contacted my local assembly person. This is crazy. I was hung up on so many times. They shouldn't hang up on you. That's so terrible. I got hung up on as well, and it was awful. Like, I just wanted to ask a few questions on behalf of you guys. I called, I want to say, for 3 hours straight before I finally got through, held for about 2 hours, and then she didn't even want to answer my one question before she hung up on me. They need to add like a customer satisfaction survey to the end of those calls so that we can rate how well those representatives are doing, so that, maybe if they're not doing so well, some of them might be joining us on the unemployment ranks as well. Okay, Andrew, who has an awesome YouTube channel of his own, Andrew Bouvet, he makes like kind of funny commentary on unemployment, even though this isn't really that funny. He's experiencing it too. Check out his channel. He says, love my streams. They make all the other streams look meh. Thank you, Andrew. Jillian says, my roommate and I are on unemployment. If his girlfriend lives here too and gets EDD, will we all have claims on the same address? If she collects, do all of us risk ID verification? My claim pays fine. Potentially. I'm not sure like how many people at one address flag, the too many people getting it at one address. In your case, even if it was flagged and you weren't receiving benefits for a little while, it might only, maybe they could fix that pretty quickly. It certainly could flag it. And I'm not sure if you're able to if she would be able to open like a post office box or just have the mail forwarded. It usually takes a while for people to update their government ID and stuff like that. What is her previous address? Can she still get mail there and just go pick it up? I mean, you want to be honest, but I'm not sure how many at one address is too many. But yeah, I would be prepared for that to be a potential outcome if that happens and she changes her address. So when I drink water, like the video. Okay. Frodo says, I wish everyone luck on getting their claims resolved and their benefits paid. As for me, praying that I can find a job soon so I can give up this crap. Yeah. And I mean, a lot of people just can't because they, have children at home. You can't leave those children at home by themselves. That's the big thing I think a lot of people don't understand. Or you live in a household with a very high risk individual, like a grandparent or something. You don't want to put them at risk, so many reasons why people can't go back to work. Candice says, Candice? I'm terrible with names, guys. I had to open a new claim 2 weeks ago. I qualified for extended weeks of UI. Today I saw a new claim balance in my account, but my claim is pending. Do I need to call EDD? If you just certified yesterday and it's still pending, I'd give it about 72 hours. And if it's not cleared up by then, I would call them to ask why, because it can be based on how you've answered those certification questions. And Chelsea, hello. Nate's Live says, hey, Shelly, I went to certify for my weeks yesterday and they came up as not paid. But prior to this, I got paid my last weeks. I'm so confused on how it says not paid now. Sometimes not. So I used to think that not paid meant you had to call, and I still tend to think that, but sometimes not paid means that they're kind of in the process of putting you on another extension. So did your claim balance hit zero? um, I just still would tend to call them and ask them why it was not paid. I know a lot of people who are on the Fed Ed extension whose benefit year ended, they were able to certify, but they see pending or not paid. That's actually because the system's kind of waiting for them to apply for the next program. So sometimes you can see not paid as it's putting you onto the next extension. But yeah, you can certainly call and that should help it get cleared up faster. Ben says, are the mass suspending of accounts and ID verification over now or still ongoing? AKA, can all of us get it? My fellow roommate may need EDD and we have the same address. I don't know this for sure. I would think 2 people at one address probably wouldn't be enough to flag it, whereas the last question was saying that then that would be 3 people at one address. I don't know. I can think of a million situations why there would be lots of people at one address all having valid reasons for collecting unemployment. So I'm not sure what the number at the same address is. Certainly in California, where our cost of living is so high, people have a lot of roommates. Like at work, there used to be like 4 employees like living all together. I've been roommates with employees before. I'm guessing on that. I don't know the number where it actually flags you as having too many people at the same address. Like to me, it wouldn't be a red flag if there were 2 people, but maybe 3 people I might want to investigate. I will say that it is my understanding that all new unemployment claims have to go through ID verification. So, and here's another, bomb that let's just get mentally prepared for it. Let's prepare for the worst. And then if it doesn't come true, like, hey, great for us. With people whose benefit year is ending, like mine ends in March, and they want us to reapply or apply for a new claim. Is that a new claim? Is that going to require ID verification? Be prepared the best you can to go for that to go through that process. I'm going to rant for a second. Sorry, and then I'll get back to questions. I really actually wish that they would have asked for ID verification from everyone at the beginning of all of this, back in like February, March of 2020, because I feel like at that point, we had more resources available to us. Maybe we hadn't maxed out our credit cards yet. Maybe we still had friends or family left that could lend us money. Maybe we weren't behind on our rent yet. We hadn't gotten used to getting a certain amount of benefits every week. But to be getting benefits consistently and then put the brakes on that, I think is really awful. And I think that that is worse than if they would have waited a little longer to pay us initially while they got this all under order. So it is my understanding that new claims need to all go through ID verification. And are they going to consider us reapplying as applying for a new claim? That's my understanding. So I would just rather everyone be prepared for that now and be grateful if that doesn't happen than not be prepared. And by be prepared, I mean, make sure that you've got like a current California driver's license that's not expired, that has your current address. If you've gotten married, make sure that your driver's license reflect your married name. Just try and get all your ducks in a row so that if that happens to you, you're prepared. And also, guys, I know, like I just said, like this is a ridiculous time, but if you can put any money back in savings, please do that, because sometimes ID verification does take a long time. And I really like Yada Bank, blah, 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 but I don't want to like sell that to you guys. Although in like 4 months, I've gotten $150 just for saving money. I would save anyway. Okay. End rant. Sorry about that. Okay. Nina says, good evening. Good evening, Nina. Royal Guidance got paid today, but nothing hit the bank account yet. I got paid, today's Monday. I got paid today and it hasn't hit my bank account either. That's totally, at least that's normal for me. For me, it should hit by tomorrow morning at about 8 a.m. Brian says, California paid up, so that's good. April says, I'm on Fed Ed, but my claim ends 3/13/2021. Do I have to refile? It is my understanding that you do, and I just kind of went through that, so I hope that that was just answered. Gabriella says, hi. Rakesh says, I spent 2+ hours and couldn't reach any help for my pending issue, though I certified again for this week. And if you're part of phase 2, you guys might not get paid until March 7th. Phase 2 is for people whose claim balance hit 0 before 12/26. If you're pending ID, you may not get paid for a little while. If you just can't get through to the EDD, your assembly members have been an incredibly good resource. They usually respond back to you within 48 hours and often have your claims resolved within about 4 days. And the link is already in the description for this on how to reach your assembly members. So please do that. Elizabeth says, hi. Chris says, I've yet to be paid for the weeks of 12/19 and 12/26. Any idea if I will be paid for those weeks? It depends on where you are with your claim. For example, if you ran out of the first 13-week PEUC extension on 12/19, they did not have the new program wasn't in effect until the week starting 12/27. So there would be at least 1 week where you would not get benefits. However, PUA and PEUC that expired on 12/19, you guys are going to have 1 week where the new program wasn't ready yet. So that would be 1 week where you're not going to get benefits. If you were going on to Fed Ed or something like that, then it should be retroactive. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Also, if you were someone who you still had weeks left on PEUC, it wasn't 0, or you were still on your regular unemployment claim and you got the reopen claim button and you pushed it. You didn't call to have someone clear it and it didn't go away on its own. The EDD did release a statement on that. They said that they would pay you and let you certify for current weeks, but there might be some weeks where you weren't paid and that's supposed to automatically fix itself, but then you're going to want to call. Okay. Josie says, I'm awesome. I'm glad you found my channel too. And thank you for saying I'm awesome. You guys are awesome. And I'm glad to help you with your claims. I'm also glad that the group's a little smaller because I'm hoping to get through these tonight. I tried your calling trick and it worked this morning. That is great. I'm going to share that calling trick, but people have had mixed results with it. So that calling trick is call area code 833-978-2511. Press 1 for English, listen for the first set of prompts, and then quickly hit 1341. But now my claim is under review due to all the fraudulent claims. Why am I being reviewed? I've been waiting a month for a payment. So it's most likely how you're answering the certification questions. There's a lot of people who have been answering question 2 as yes. Question 2 is there any other reason other than sickness or injury why you were unable to accept work? Some people are hitting yes, and there's a spot where you can explain, right? And some people have been saying it's due to lack of childcare, which during the pandemic is a valid reason. I've had 2 employees who answered yes to that question, and they said the city hasn't allowed us to reopen and we're still furloughed. But this form does not know about the pandemic and the city won't let us reopen. Basically, if you answer that question yes, it flags your account. The other one is, are you looking for work? If you answer that question as no, that's question 3. So question 3 is the only one that should be a yes answer when you're certifying. If you answer that question as no, it flags your account because it doesn't know that the work requirement's waived right now. So usually that's why your account is in review. Water drinking means like the video, please. Okay. Hi, Daniel. I'm doing good. Oh, and he's in La Jolla. La Jolla is beautiful. I learned to surf in La Jolla at a place called Surf Diva. It's an all-women's surfing school. That was many years ago. They're probably all gender now, but I love La Jolla shores. That's where I learned to surf. So got a little special place in my heart there. Okay. Yang Yi says regular unemployment became 0 on 1/3. Submitted certification right after that. Called EDD and extended from 1/3 on 1/28. I got paid recent 3 weeks, but not paid 2 weeks from 1/3 to 1/16 until now. Did you hit the reopen claim button on your own? That's the only thing that I know that will cause that. That is supposed to update automatically, but so much with the EDD that they have said will be automatic has turned out not to be automatic. So I would definitely follow back up with them and find out why that is. That can also happen as you're switching between benefit programs, between UI and the first PEUC extension. That one's gone. If you're not already on the first PEUC extension, that's not available. So, but if you're going from the first PEUC extension to the second PEUC extension, you might see that. If you are on Fed Ed, but you are past your benefit year, you might see that. But it's probably going to need a call to clear up. Okay, Brian says, California just paid up to 7 weeks. What? I don't know what that means. You got paid for 7 weeks? That's good. Flawless Victory says, my claim ended 12/12/2020. I couldn't get Fed Ed, so they moved me to PUA and got a paper saying I got granted money. Then a paper saying I got disqualified. Still haven't gotten any intel on the 11 weeks. I know exactly what you're talking about. It takes a little bit to explain it. So some people, the process was supposed to be, if you didn't meet the earnings requirements for Fed Ed back at that time, the EDD was supposed to automatically move you to PUA, which it sounds like they did. Then there was like a certification paper that they sent back to you, and you needed to list that like the reason why you're still unemployed is due to COVID-19. So some people, they said that they didn't qualify for PUA because they were trying to say that you weren't still unemployed because of COVID. So now, although I think you have to be on PUA to get moved back to PEUC. So they're supposed to move people on PUA back to the 11 weeks of PEUC. But they haven't started doing that yet. They were supposed to have till January 23rd to do that. And if they couldn't complete it by that date, they had to notify it wasn't the Department of Labor, but it was like that. Like basically the EDD had to report to their higher ups on why they couldn't complete it by that date. But that was only for people on a PUA claim. So I'm not sure. I would tend to think that they would owe you those 11 weeks, but call them to find out when you should expect that. I know what you're talking about. I don't know why that's happening. Hi, Vanessa. Oh, your account is good, but ID verification will someday come to me. I hope it's ID me and not the blasted 3-month one. Me too. Again, I just talked about this. I think we should all be prepared to eventually do it. I don't want to alarm anyone. I just want us to be prepared just in case. But yeah, I hope it's the fast one and not the other one as well. Christine says, I have 2 weeks not paid and I don't know when they will fix. So we talked a lot about that so far, so go ahead and give them a call. Frodo says, I'm still pending but couldn't get through. But I'm done stressing over this. One of the stress-free ways to have your claim fixed is really, really, really by emailing your assembly member. I recommend emailing so that there's a paper trail. Hania says, you have one question. You didn't fill out ID me verification because your mobile problem, too much camera problems with selfie. My question is, can I send my ID documents in your PO box mail, please? So there is a way to mail it in. I think I've heard faxing is faster. I don't have the fax number or the address handy, but there is a way to do that. Some people have said that if they do it from like a desktop computer and like maybe you can access some of your saved photos, or maybe from your phone, you can send a picture to your email address. And then once you're on a computer, you could upload a selfie that way. See if that could potentially work. A lot of people have had luck by that. And if you can find a way to do ID me either by phone or on a like a computer, a laptop, something like that is going to be much faster than faxing or mailing it in. There is a way, but it's going to take a lot longer. Okay, we did Hanya's. Phase 2, I'm so depressed. Well, they've said by March 7th. So I'm hoping that means that that's the latest they'll get everything fixed by. And, I know that that's still a long time, but call your creditors. They should work with you. Tell your landlord, put it in writing. They should work with you. And then it's just out of your control. So the stressing won't help. I'm the same way, even though I'm like, be calm. Like when that happens to me, I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I don't want to seem like I don't get it. I get it. But that's one of the lessons I'm trying to learn is like, don't stress about the things that are out of our control, but take charge on the things you can, like calling your creditors and talking with your landlord and just letting them know that you need more time and how much time you need. Okay, well, Fredo says, I certified last week for my last extension. 1 week paid. Now it says to certify on 2/14. So am I getting paid? Thank you. Yeah, if you see a date when you can certify, that's good and normally means that you'll be paid after you certify again, as long as there's no trouble with the way you're answering those certification questions. Bree Marie says, claims still under review. They said only a certain department can review newly filed claims. Anyone else went through a review? Oh, hold on, I got a heater thing in here that's making a lot of noise. I thought that was off already. Apparently not. Okay, sorry about that. Anyone else went through a review and pending to paid? Calling doesn't help. Again, try reaching out to your assembly member. It's true that if your claim is under review, calling's not going to help. You're probably waiting on a determination interview, and they are getting through those pretty quick, but several people are having that happen. And they're backed up on everything. Annette says my year is up in March. So when I reopen a new case, will they put me back on FedEd or PEUC? Okay. So you're probably on FedEd right now. Now you're saying your benefit year ends, and will they put you back on FedEd, which implies that you're still on FedEd right now. So I think, first of all, if you qualify for a whole new claim, FedEd and PEUC don't matter anymore. They're going to put you on a whole new 26 weeks of unemployment. If you don't qualify for a whole new claim, it is my understanding that they would let you use up the rest of your FedEd weeks and then add, depending on where that balance takes you, then you could potentially get more weeks of PEUC. That would take you through 4/10/2021. And of course, we're waiting for new legislation and the new stimulus bill that would extend that even more. But right now, that second PEUC, which they have said you need to use all of your FedEd before they'd put you on that, that all is scheduled to end April 10th. Drinking water, like the video, please. Thank you. So we did Annette's. Cass says, sorry about that. Had a weird swallowing thing. Okay. Cass says, I've been calling for 2 weeks and just can't get through. Again, try reaching out to your assembly member. They really have helped a lot of people. It is still very hard to get through, and that link is in the description of this video and most of my recent videos. A lot of people. Shout out to our assembly members who have been doing the job of the EDD for them. They're earning their money this year, or they're earning our votes this year, or whatever it is they're getting. Okay. Flawless says, I was able to certify, but all got disqualified. They said they might have to just move me back to PEUC and add the 11 weeks, but still till right now have no idea what's going on. So you want to email your assembly member. I always recommend emailing, that way you'll have a paper trail. Sometimes disqualifications are going to need an appeal to get going again, and an appeal is a pretty lengthy process. C. Flores says, this week my claim balance finishes. Do you reapply? Only if your benefit year is over. Otherwise, it's just going to be the extension, and it should be automatic. With the extensions, even if your claim balance hits 0, that's pretty normal. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on with me today. Even if your claim balance hits 0, that is normal. And you might see maximum benefits paid. That is normal. The only thing that's not normal that's happening to some people in that process is when it gets to their next 2-week time frame when they normally should be able to certify, they're not able to certify. That's not normal, and that's when you would need a call. But unfortunately, you kind of need to wait 2 weeks to see if that happens. And I am also seeing that they're backed up, that should still happen automatically without a phone call. But these are the weeks when all of us first started applying for unemployment. So they're getting a lot of people that need rolled over onto the extensions, and they're just really backlogged on that, which is why it's not going away automatically in time for you to certify again. Okay. Yep, we did. Hania's. Please, guys, only ask your question a maximum of 2 times. I'll get to you. It looks like I'm running 30 minutes behind on the questions, even though there's less of you guys in here. But please, please don't ask more than 2 times, because then it just makes me have to go through this spiel, and it slows it down and takes me longer to answer the questions. Okay. Snowsurf says if you're pending, you got to get a hold of them. Yeah, pending more than 72 hours, that's my recommendation as well. And if you just can't sit through the phone process and spend all that time on redial, reach out to your assembly member. Ben says he loves Susie and the Banshees, Bauhaus, and The Cure. I don't like newer The Cure. Like, I don't really like that Friday I'm in Love. Lots of people like that. I don't like that. I'm more like, I'm older, so I like the album Disintegration. Like, man, I don't know the name of the song. The Spider-Man is Having Me for Dinner Tonight song. Love that. Okay. Hopefully you guys, Ben and I are talking about music that we like together. And The Weeknd, who just did the Super Bowl halftime show, he uses a clip from a band, Susie and the Banshees, Happy House, I can't remember the name of his song, but he totally samples Susie and the Banshees, which is kind of cool to see, like, some of the goth bands that I like being sampled. Probably also a sign that I'm being old. Okay. Nadir says, I certified 2 weeks ago, but payment's still pending, and today I have to certify again. What should I do? Well, you should certify today and then call them to find out why you're still pending. Rebecca says, and email your assembly member to find out, because it's really still hard to get through to the EDD. Rebecca says, if you were offered a part-time job, can you refuse without getting in trouble with the EDD? Not if they find out, because one of those questions is, it might say, did you refuse any full-time work? You might still be able to qualify for some benefits, even if you accept the part-time job. If somehow the EDD found out, that could disqualify you. So, weigh the pros and cons. If you haven't officially been hired yet, maybe, and each of those situations is going to be different. And I don't know if they really would find out, but if they did, I think, it's my opinion, I don't work for the EDD, but I think they could penalize you for that. So just be very careful with that. Okay. We got Nadir's. Guys, only do these questions once or twice maximum. Give it some space in between. I'm about 30 to 35 minutes behind on these questions. Snowsurf says pending can be a bad sign. Yes, if it's pending more than 3 days, it's not a good sign. You got to call them and find out, or email your assembly member and find out. Okay. Starik. When is the stimulus? The stimulus is not coming anytime soon. And they haven't even really said which year they're going to base the stimulus off of. So I'm just going to give you guys some loose numbers, right? I believe they're still going off, and they haven't even decided what the maximum threshold's going to be. So, the last stimulus was available for single people who made less than $75,000. And that was adjusted gross income after all your deductions, everything. Some Republicans have suggested as low as $40,000 after your adjusted income to even qualify for that $1,400. Now, if that were the case, I would not qualify for that. If it's $50,000 and they're using 2019 income, and we don't know yet if they're using 2019 income or 2020 income, but keep in mind, if they're using 2020 income, the IRS isn't even accepting our returns until February 12th. So they don't know what our 2020 2020 income is yet, which leads me to think they're going to go off 2019 income. In 2019, we were all working. I heard today that Janet Yellen has said that maybe a compromise would be a $60,000. I'm all going off single people. I know more about single people because I'm a single people. If you have kids or if you're married, probably a little bit more wiggle room there. So I'm just speaking from my own personal situation. Anyway, if they went for $60,000, I would qualify even if they used 2019 income. Now, if they use 2020 income, but they don't know that yet because they don't have my taxes yet, if they decide to use off 2020 income, let me tell you, for me, I don't know when it'll be for you, but they won't know my 2020 income until I do my taxes. I'm planning on waiting on doing my taxes until April 15th. But they're reprogramming all the tax programs now to be ready and updated by February 12th. Nothing is passed yet. It's probably not going to pass by February 12th. So if they're using 2020 income, we are honestly probably not going to see that money until we do our taxes in 2022. That's just honest. You know how like they're saying for people who haven't got that $600 check yet, that it will be a credit on their 2020 taxes when they do those. I think if they use 2019 income to give this to us, and I think they're going to have to because they don't have our 2020 income yet, we would not see that until a tax credit when we do 2021 taxes in 2022. So I am not counting on that money anytime soon at all. And I don't like that. It's not like, ha ha ha, we're not getting money. No, I hate that. So hopefully they keep the income limits the same. Then we'll all qualify if we got one before, but they are all over the place with that. So again, I don't want to worry you guys, but prepare for the worst. If they, and if it doesn't turn out to be that way, then we get to be happy about that. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. So we don't know. Could be as late as when we do taxes next year. Andrew says, my aunt got fired from Ralph's for friendly touching her friend by tapping her on the shoulder. That was enough to get her fired. Can she collect unemployment? She's a union job. Can she get it back? So I would do a lot of things. Especially with a union job, that's very unusual. Union jobs are normally very cautious, right? So like, if we're moving in a tight space and I say, "Ooh, pardon me, can you move?" There's some responsibility on both the employer. Let's just go with the employer. There's some responsibility on the part of the employer to give the aunt a warning and say, you know what? So and so does not like it when you touch them. If you do that again, we're going to have to let you go. Like there should be a documentation process on that. There should be like a chain of warning notices. Was there a history? Was there other things? If you tap someone, unless it was aggressive tapping and they somehow have like that on camera, or, there are a lot of factors, and she can apply for unemployment. She could potentially, union jobs are different. I would take that to her union leader and just say that she thinks she was wrongfully terminated. Does she have any prior documentation in her file? If not, I'm not a legal expert, but if that happened in California, they may not have had grounds to let her go. Or maybe your aunt's not giving you all the details. Like it's really hard to say, but they probably should have investigated that a little bit more. The Shift 2010 says, so if you're on extension, don't reapply if your claim year is ending in March. No, it is my understanding that you do need to reapply 12 months after your benefit year. I even just did a video where I went through the California EDD's flow chart, and I can see it from here. It says, Has your benefit year expired on your claim? And then it goes on to say, benefit year is the 12-month period from the start of your claim. And if you answer yes, that your benefit year has ended, then the next step says, if your benefit year expired, you should file a new claim. If there's enough in intervening wages for a new claim, that claim will be processed. If not, the EDD will automatically file a PEUC extension on your prior UI claim, and you will be notified. So everything I've read says that you need to reapply when your benefit year is over. Some people are calling, and then the EDD can kind of see over the phone with you if you qualify for a new claim. Benefit year is over, apply for a new claim or reapply, which is totally different than reopen claim. Okay, sorry. Snowsurf says, apply immediately. Yeah, and the worst that can happen is the employer fights it. California is a very employee-friendly state. So if she can prove that she was wrongfully terminated with the EDD, then they're going to side in her favor and give it to her. She may have, if the employer fights it, she may have to appeal it. But most of the time when it's a dispute between the employer and the employee, the EDD is going to side with the employee. Even if she had multiple warning notices, EDD is probably going to side with the employee. So yeah, it never hurts to file. Hi, when can we get the $2,000 Biden announced? Not anytime soon. They're still negotiating the details, although I think something came out tonight that I'm going to look at. And as we get closer to the new stimulus package passing, I'll start to increase the amount of stimulus videos that I make. I don't like to make it when it's all so speculative. Like, ooh, they said this, they said that. Like I don't want to worry you guys and be like, oh, we might not get our checks until 2022. You know, there's no need for me to either get anybody's hopes up or cause people to worry before we really know. And we don't know anything until it's passed both the House and the Senate and signed into law. So there's that. However, since a lot of people are saying it's not going to, whatever it is, isn't going to pass until like mid-March, please, guys, please try and save some money in case there are delays again with the EDD updating their system. And I am going to plug it. They're not paying me. It's just like, I've gotten $150 since September for doing nothing but saving money with Yada Bank, and I always link them too. Check them out. Whatever. Okay, I'm behind on the questions, so I'm not going to talk about Yada Bank, but I like them and they're in the description. All right, Nadir, you certified 10 days ago, but payments are still pending. Yeah, certify again, but call them to find out why you're still pending. Eduardo says, good evening. I'm still waiting. Shows pending since 12/26, and I have $4,100. When will I get paid? Any suggestion? And you did ID. Eduardo, please call them. That is way too long to be pending, especially if you had a claim balance. That means you're phase one, which they just said they had cleared up. Did you do ID verification through ID Me or DocuSign? DocuSign can take 6 to 8 weeks, but ID.me is supposed to be only like 7 to 10 business days, like pretty much right after they show that you're verified. Carrie is helping Andrew. If you get fired, no unemployment, your aunt needs to talk to your union and most likely get another job, potentially. Yeah. But just, it never hurts to apply and see what happens. But yeah, talk to your union rep for sure. Love Light Angel, is anyone else waiting for them to file the extension? Most people are not waiting anymore. They're just calling and having them do it for them, which if you have the patience to call and the luck to get through, that seems to be the faster path. And or just email your assembly members and they're able to get it moving. The guy says, I have no more benefit funds left in my account, but my benefit year ends 8/21. Can I apply for an extension? You shouldn't need to apply for an extension. That should happen automatically. But it may take two weeks. Like if your claim balance just hit 0 yesterday, give it at least until your next certification date before you're like, oh, I have to call. Wait 2 weeks. And then if it doesn't update automatically by your next certification date, that is when I would recommend calling, contacting Ask EDD, using Contact Us on your UI Online homepage, and contacting your assembly member, link in the description. But give it 2 weeks. Ben says, what do they ask for on ID.me? Social security card, driver's license, selfie. They don't even ask for the social security card that I'm aware of. For some reason, they ask for the front and back of your driver's license. I don't know why they ask for the back. And then they ask for the selfie. And for some reason, if you do it from your cell phone, it's difficult to do if you don't do it from your personal cell phone. Like if you're on a family plan or something, that's making it problematic. So if you're on a family plan, use a desktop or laptop computer. They say don't use Safari as the internet browser, and then that should, help it expedite. If you do it from your cell phone and it's not, and your phone's not in your name, that's when you have to wait some people have waited up to 24 hours to speak to an ID.me referee. Pastor Glenn says, thank you. Okay, guys, I'm somehow now I'm 40 minutes behind on comments. Hopefully when I answer other people's questions, it also answers yours. Christy will hire me. You are welcome. And yes, I'm open to the job of my dreams. I love my old job, but right opportunity, I'll go. Oh, shoot. Oh no. All right. Oh, God, of course I lost my place. When I lose my place, please like the video. Any tips for doing taxes as an independent contractor? I'm going to skip around because we're kind of on the Monday night ones. I like to try and keep them to an hour. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to head out for the night. My throat's dry. I've drank almost all my water. So I'm going to skip around in the questions so that I can try and catch some people that are in chat. If I missed your question, please know that it's not intentional. Okay. So Eddie says, any tips for doing taxes as an independent contractor with a 1099? It's pretty easy on the TurboTax or H&R Block, just the free software. Credit Karma has a free program. You can drop it off with H&R Block or TurboTax. Just be honest and make sure though that you're taking advantage of all the deductions. A lot of people, I'm just going to give Uber and Lyft and Postmates and stuff as an example. A lot of people want to write off maintenance on their car and mileage. So if you buy new tires, they're wanting to write that off, and they're wanting to write off mileage cost, the mileage reimbursement rate. And that's an either or. If you drive Uber, Lyft, or Postmates, you either get to claim mileage or use depreciation on your car. When I did that, it was more beneficial for me to just use the mileage rate, because with depreciation, you don't get if my tires, Andrew, cost $700 to replace because he drove in a car that needs expensive tires. I'm teasing him. Then you don't get to write off the full $700. You only get to write off a portion of that. So for me, it wound up being cheaper to write off my mileage. But if you're not sure about what you can deduct and whatnot, again, I'm not a tax professional, so I don't think you're allowed to sit down with a tax professional this year, but you can drop off all of your paperwork and have them look over it. So that might be the way to go. I'm going to answer Michelle's. Received notice of determination for not verifying ID, which is false. I have proof of email confirmation from EDD. They received my ID verification on 1/9. 1/24, my PUA was extended, but showing disqualified. You're going to have to call them, and you might need to appeal that, and definitely reach out to your assembly member to try and help you with that. Oh, no. Angel Sirs. Wait, why are you in all caps? Are you mad at me? Did I mess something up? It says people better start shopping around their questions. What does that mean? Did I mess something up? Johnny King is a member. Thank you. Just says hi that I can see. Gonna look for some. Oh, not sure what it means. Shelly, to reapply, do we use the same email that was used for the first or different? I would probably try and use the same email. Yeah, that's what Angel Sirs is saying as well. So we're of the same opinion there. Andrew's saying, anyone here from San Diego? It's been quite lovely weather. Daniel is also from San Diego. He's from La Jolla. Nadir, I answered your question like a million times ago. Like, please don't ask your question more than twice. Like, I'll get to it if I can. Oh, here's Gilly B, whose like name I just love. She's writing in all caps. I don't mind all caps. That helps me see. But multiple asking of the questions. It's like pretty much my only pet peeve. Oh, she's finally caught up with all payments since January 3rd. Week 2 and 3, I answered no, and I was still paid for it. Yeah, wait, what? To which question? It was still paid for it. Thank you, Shelly, for keeping me informed and claim throughout this hot mess. January was a mess for everybody's claims, for sure. Rich, I answered no to question 2 this time. And this time I went to paid in 2 hours. Thanks for the advice. You are welcome. It makes me feel very good when I give you guys good advice, and it makes me feel very bad when I don't give you good advice. So just know that if I ever give you good advice, I take zero pleasure in that. Uh-oh. EDD has serious issues. It does. I'm just kind of skipping around during these last few minutes. Ooh, yeah. I like that name, obviously, since I've got a little excited. Keep certifying once it gets approved. You will get all of your weeks paid at the same time. Yes, that's correct. And then Spider-Man, just go back to regular state unemployment. They pay more. Yeah, that's kind of, I mean, at least if you go back on a regular claim, right? If you have enough benefits and you don't qualify for the extension, if there's a boost, you would still qualify for the boost. But like, yeah, then you don't have to worry about like what extension, what not extension for the next 26 weeks. Troy said that his account is fixed, and he called and they fixed it. A lot of times calling will fix it, but if your account is in review or says it's awaiting a determination interview, or they haven't finished verifying your ID, that's when they can't help. But I'm so glad they fixed yours, Troy. Shannon says, AD, what is extra hilarious is we got reopened and we have to explain why we have no jobs. Duh, EDD. There's so many things that make me feel like that. Like, I have like a long list of things. Like, you guys, I'm on Twitter too. It's just Shelly's Millions. And sometimes I'd be like dragging the EDD. Like, they were like, hey, if it's been more than 30 days since you've last certified, hit the reopen claim button. And I was like, you have to be kidding me. You literally told us that the reopen claim button would go away on its own. So the people with that button who've been waiting haven't hit it, but now it's been more than 30 days. So you said you'd fix it automatically, but now you're saying if it's been 30 days since we last certified, we need to hit it. Like, which is it? Oh, they try my patience. Let's put it that way. Savannah says they haven't gotten anything since 12/27. Please call them and contact your assembly member. AD, I've called 3 times, nothing changed. Reach out to your assembly member. I'm not sure. Tonight's video has been brought to you by, please contact your assembly member. Do it by email. You don't even have to send on the phone. Send a email through your phone. They're very, very good about helping you get your claim cleared up if they can. Okay, Rich. Johnny, I would call an email. I had to DocuSign when the CARES Act ended, and it took about 3 weeks to clear. And now because more people are needing to do DocuSign, it's backed up again. Always appeal their decisions. Yes. Shannon, yes. California is a very worker-friendly state. And in my experience, not my experience being unemployed, my experience being on the other side of this, EDD is going to side with the employee and give them benefits most of the time. Okay. Got the email that they're going to extend. Oh, good, Troy. Oh, hi, Dante. I haven't seen you in a while. I can't say your name. Jay Yang? XAY. Jay? XA? I suck at names. Okay. So when we certify and answer no on question 2, how are we going to explain that we can't look for work except work because of children? Okay. Oh, I hope you're still on because you asked your question 30 minutes ago. Okay. So keep in mind that the certification questions don't know about the pandemic, right? So here's how I think of question 2. I don't know if this is right, but this is what I tell myself in my mind to make it okay that I'm answering no to question 2. And the real reason is I'm furloughed, so I shouldn't have to look for a job. But here's the thing, right? So you've got kids, they're on childcare, and so that's why you've been saying, yes, I can't go to work other than sickness or injury because I don't have childcare. But here's how I think of it. And I don't know if this is right. I'm just going to say that. But I pretend, probably not the best idea with EDD, but this is really this is how my mind works. I pretend that there's like a sentence in front of that says, if the schools were reopened and your business or city was not closed due to the pandemic, is there any other reason other than sickness or injury why you were unable to accept work? No, if schools were open and the pandemic wasn't a factor, I could totally go back to work. So that's how I think of it. And here's like another thing, right? Let's say that let's say my YouTube channel blew up and I just needed someone to sit at home and answer questions all day and I could pay like $1 million a year to do that or whatever. Like you would take that job, right? Like if the right opportunity came around that you could do from home while your kids were home, like you would take that. So no, if that came along, you would take it, right? So that's how I think of it to answer that honestly. But guys, I gotta be honest, that's a stretch. But that is how I explain it to myself. Hopefully that's right. I'm not necessarily saying to do that, but that's how I think of it. Okay. Savvy called 12 times all extensions, same message and hangs up. Try the trick after you press 1 for English, listen to the next set of prompts, and then quickly, don't pick one prompt next time, but when it asks for the next set of prompts, press 1, 3, 4, 1. I have heard some reports that gets you to a different department and the reps are like not pleased that trick is going around. Definitely don't mention like YouTubers or social media that you got that tip from. Just say, oh, my friend gave it to me. We're all friends now too. So my friend told me that worked for her. They don't seem to like social media people. They don't like that tip going around, but it's everywhere now. It's on Facebook, it's on Twitter, like it's on my channel, it's on other channels. Like the tip is live, which also probably means there's a better chance that it's going to go away. Okay, I am going to scroll. Oh, I haven't seen this name before. Charles Poole says, I push the button. Push the button. I feel like we're on Lost where they have to go push that red button every like 180 seconds or something. Push the button. Because also people got the button to go away and it's back. Sorry, I get loopy always at the end of these. Thank you guys for putting up with me. And sorry to those of you who are just joining me. Like the video. Charles says, I pushed the button. It took me 3 days to fill it out. I had submitted it when finished and had my money plus back pay from the 26th. Thank you for all you do. Love you. Oh, thank you. You are welcome. Teriyaki said, so my balance for regular UI just turned 0 yesterday and now it says max benefits paid. But wait, you're good. I made a whole video about why that's good. And I feel that's one of the ones where I feel like I may have misadvised people. That is totally normal. And that does mean your claim is on the right track. But a lot of people have had to call. It's not necessarily that they haven't, that it's not still going to go away automatically, but it is very backlogged. So you might not be able to certify by your next certification cycle. And if that's the case, then you want to call. Angel Source, who's too busy for you? Me? I'm busy for everybody if we're talking about me. Dixie, why should I hope for the best if I'm entitled? Try and message them on EDD portal. So this is the thing. This is like the sequence of events for trying to fix a pending claim that's been pending for more than 72 hours. Step 1, call them. Step 2, if you can't get through, use Ask EDD. Step 3, that's towards, I think, the bottom right once you log on. Step 3 is to use UI Online. That's after you're logged in on the upper, that's definitely on the upper right, like where, on the selections on the top. And then 4 is contact your assembly member. And that's all the tricks in my book that I've got. You guys lost your patience. Yes, feel free to vent over here. Oh no. It's a hot lava mess. Just don't give up. And then there's pictures of fish from Gilly Bee. They're cute little fish. I moved a lot to lizards. Shelly has a nice smile. Thank you. Whatever. Okay. I get self-conscious about myself, guys. Accepting scraps now. Judy, can you do a video on how to apply to refresh our memories of how we did it the first time? I have had a lot of people asking me for that. I will try and do that. Quite honestly, I might have to wait till my claim hits its benefit year, which will be in about, it's going to be the week right before March 15th. I'll try and do it. And a lot of people are saying that they don't even see the reapply or reopen claim button. And what you're going to do in that case is you're going to call them and then they can walk you through it on the phone and actually sometimes tell you right away if you qualify for a new claim or not. Kalana says, so if I just got on a claim in December, even without the stimulus relief being passed, I should get automatically added to the extension. Yes, although a lot of things where they're saying automatically is not happening automatically and is requiring the call, the Ask EDD, the contact us through your UI Online homepage, and a request from help from your assembly member. Ismail says, I was switched to PUA after not qualifying for FedEd before the end of the CARES Act. I was finally able to certify 129 and immediately got disqualified. I must appeal. I was supposed to get PUCX. That is correct, but they haven't even started dealing with that on people's claims. So yeah, do the appeal, contact your assembly member, do all those steps. Although Angel Source, it's probably not Angel Source. In my mind, you're like a dinosaur that's also an angel, but that's probably not right. But that's what I envision that usual username as. You guys, I'm weird. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm going to have to go because I'm getting loopy. Normally I get loopy because it's lunchtime. Now I'm loopy because it's dinner time. Carrie says 99 people who get pulled over deserve to be. And then someone's saying they disagree. Okay. I'm going to take a couple more questions. Going to look to see if there's ones from members, and there are. Johnny King says, you and I started our claim back in the beginning of this pandemic. I'm sure we're on the same extension. My question is, once we run out of the extension, what's next for us? Okay. So when our benefit year ends, right around that first or second week of March, it's like March 13th, I want to say, it is my understanding that they're going to have us reapply for a whole new claim, regardless of whether there's a balance on our current claim or not. They're going to put the brakes on our current claim and they're going to say, try and apply for a whole new claim. If we qualify for a whole new claim, Merry Christmas, we get 26 weeks on a brand new claim and they kind of forget about our old claim and where we are on that. If we don't have enough earnings history to qualify for a whole new claim, then if we're on some sort of PEUC, right, if that's where we are on the claim, that all ends on April 10th at the latest. If you went from Fed Ed, if you're already out of Fed Ed, which I'm not, you're probably not out of Fed Ed either. PEUC totally ends though April 10th. You might be though, because even though I got furloughed, I worked a couple shifts and then I had to like report some YouTube earnings, which put me off like schedule from like where the rest of my coworkers are. But they're gonna have us reapply. If not, then like you'll get PEUC 2 through April 10th. And then potentially 20 more weeks of Fed Ed. So there are still some extensions, even if nothing passes with the stimulus. I feel like we're crazy guys today too. Take a minute and like the video. Oh, I want to answer Compton Euclids because I like the name. I certified yesterday and it's stuck on pending. Why? It's normal for up to 72 hours. If it goes beyond that, call them and it might be how you're answering the certification questions. Carl Walker, how long does it take for a manager to review a process pending? It usually requires a phone determination. They are happening pretty quickly. But I don't know exactly. I would say that you normally have your phone determination in like less than 2 weeks. Are you guys fighting? And why are you guys talking about lizards? I'm confused. Joseph says, how long does the DocuSign take? 6 to 8 weeks was about the last I heard. Uh-oh, Troy, are you saying I'm only helping 274 people? Oh no, you're saying to like the video. Thanks, Troy. Rich, Susan, if DocuSign it says to upload as a card, I don't think is one of them. I'm confused. Make it rain. You guys are funny. People are hurting that by buying drugs and hooks. Soon unemployment will be gone. That is true. You guys, like I went to a very, I have a small pod that I see socially distanced outside at a park. I did go with mask to the park on Saturday, and this person has a foster child right now because the mom just overdosed. So please just be kind is really what I want to say. Just be kind. Try not to judge other people on what they're going through. Be kind to each other and hang in there. I know a lot of you are, maybe not a lot of you guys. I see a lot of familiar faces and your claims are good, and that makes me really happy. But if you are struggling, if you're feeling like giving up, please don't give up. And please know that people care about you. I care about you. Jenny Silver cares about you. Apparently seems like the assembly members care about you. Jenny Silver actually started a petition because she's so frustrated with the EDD. That's on change.org, and that's also linked in the description. So don't give up. That's my message. Still looking for member comments. Going to do a few more. I've gone a little longer than I meant to. That's okay. Okay. Oh, Jessica. I just see Jessica's name popped out. I'm certifying weekly. What's going on? I'm trying to figure that out. I'm just going to go ahead and say that I don't know. You guys, I think, know that I'm a moderator on a Facebook message board regarding unemployment, and that was the talk of all the admins and administrators. Let's share a little something that alluded to that. It's like the only thing I've heard about that. It's this picture. Like I don't know why. I do know that it used to be that if your account had like a problem or you were pending, but you called the EDD and there was like a hardship, they were able to let you certify for just 1 week of benefits. But then the very next week, it's supposed to go back to like letting you certify for 2 weeks at a town. Not out of town. I saw the word town in some other message thread I'm in. And supposed to let you certify for 2 weeks at a time, supposed to let you do it 1 week if you report hardship. But then I was seeing that they're not supposed to be doing that 1 week hardship. 1 week can usually be for your claim balance to intentionally get to zero as you're switching between portions. Like I don't know why you would certify for only 1 week more than once. Like if that's happening 2 times in a row, it also means something's not normal. Okay, so I highlighted this. Alert about pending status delays on claims. The EDD is alerting claimants that delays can occur in issuing payments on a claim when eligibility issues arise. In this week by week unemployment insurance program. Like, what the heck is the week by week unemployment insurance program? They had some typos in that news release, but like, I don't know what the heck that is and why you're certifying weekly. And Jessica, you got me stumped. When I find out, I'll let you know. Or if you find out, let me know. Like, I don't know, but I want to. I'm nosy. That's kind of how I got doing this, because like, I want to understand like why these things happen, because it's happening to, people I used to work with. I like being able to explain it. I like understanding it. I don't understand, but at least you're not alone. And then there's this weird thing mentioned in their news release from this past Friday that I don't know if it's a typo or if they meant to say that. So I don't know, but it's perplexing to me too. Okay, sorry, end rant. When I go on a rant, lose my place, or drink water, that's when you guys like the video. Somebody's saying Dogecoin. You guys, like, I don't know, maybe I'm never going to be a millionaire because I always miss stuff like this. I did not invest in Dogecoin and like could have probably been a millionaire, but not now. It's too late. It's too high because Elon Musk already tweeted about it or whatever. Bitcoin went up a lot today too. Water, like the video, please. Okay. Lissa. Oh, I'm going to do Holly's buddy because I like that name too. And then I'm going to do Lissa's question because she's a member. And then I'm going to head out for the night. Holly's buddy says, I've been on a PUA since March. I took a part-time temporary job. I lost my place. I've been on a part-time temporary job. I had excessive earnings for 3 weeks. Then the job ended. EDD sent me a notice of new claim. I'm not sure about the notice of new claim. I would just keep certifying for benefits. If you have the reopen claim button, you might actually need to hit the reopen claim button. So go ahead and do that. If it won't let you once you hit the reopen claim button, you're probably going to need to certify for any other weeks. And if you have any trouble, go through the 4 steps. Call the EDD, ask EDD, contact us through UI Online, and reach out to your assembly member. All right, guys, I'm going to be honest. Somebody's asking about, did they give you good stocks? When I sign up with Robinhood, you get 1 free stock, and it's usually only worth $5. However, when I signed up with Robinhood in 2019, they gave me a $5 stock. It was GameStop. It was worth about $4 or $5. I sold it a couple Wednesdays ago for $330. When you sell stock, though, that's a taxable event. So you got to be careful with that. Webull, they'll give you 2 free stocks. It's back down to 2 now. Honestly, it's normally worth between $8 and $9. That's $8 and $9 that you didn't have before. And what if one of those turns out to be a $330 stock? That's how I look at it. I don't do Webull. I put in my $100. I get my 2 free stocks. I put it back. I put the $100 back in my account, and I just leave those $10 stocks there for them to do whatever they're going to do. Most of the time, they just sit there right around the value of $10. But who knows? Maybe 2 years from now, they'll be going up to $330, and then I'll sell those too. Lissa, the member, and the last question, somebody put Dogecoin, says, Assembly member Lorena Gonzalez is helping those pending with eligibility issues that aren't being disclosed to people, even if you aren't in her district. She is basically a saint, Lissa. I am following her on Twitter, and she is amazing. Like, I'm gonna send her flowers or something. I'm gonna cry, because of how amazing she is. She's the assembly member for San Diego, I believe. And yeah, she's saying that her office is getting 1,200 calls a day. And she's just sweet as pie whenever I see her on Twitter. And I don't know her, I've never seen her speak in person, but she's doing the work of, she sounds like she's doing 2 jobs, the work of, maybe that's her job to represent the people, but seems like she's doing EDD jobs as well. Her aide is Lucas is the bomb. So really props to our assembly members, but yeah, she's just going above and beyond. And I think I saw her, I don't know if she went to San Diego. I was trying to watch, they were trying to do this hearing because of stuff that happened in the audit to improve the EDD. And I think I've only seen her Twitter picture, so I don't really know what she looks like, but I think I saw her sitting back there with the other assembly members. She rocks. So yes. So yes, Lorena and Lucas, LNL, are better than the EDD. All right. See loopy, guys. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to do Bryce's, and then I'm going to pop off. Okay. My EDD account says max benefits paid, and I did the ID.me thing. Got verified on the 25th, and I haven't gotten the 11-week extension. My benefit year ends April 10th of this year. Okay, so that means that you're on PUA. Did your claim balance reach 0 before 12/26? If so, that seems to be when that would mean you're phase 2, and that you'll receive more information about phase 2 by March 7th. Yeah, AD, maybe we got to figure out how to give her some flowers or something, Not everybody, I don't know if she drinks coffee. It's pandemic. Maybe people feel worried about taking food from other people. Maybe people feel worried about flowers, but she certainly deserves some flowers. And the EDD deserves whatever the opposite of flowers is, mud. All right. And on that, you guys, thank you so much for watching my channel. Please like the video. Please contact your assembly members. I actually can't believe she's helping people that aren't even in her area, because she seems that amazing. Reach out to your assembly members. I hope your claims get fixed. And these are starting to slow down, even though I'm still behind on the comments. I'm still not caught up on the comments. But let me know if you guys still want me to do these in addition to the ones Sunday at 11 a.m. All right. I never know how to end these things, but pretend I have a clicker. Oh, bye, Roxette. I didn't see you in here earlier. Oh, and bye, Heidi. Didn't see you in here earlier either.